Morning guys, today going to continue working on the Seat, preparing that for 2022 season. A couple of days after Christmas now, and I think we've got a couple of hours. So job for today is to get the fuel tank out, give that an inspection, check the pump, check the fuel, check the foam even. It's out of date in February this year, and I'm yet to decide whether to send it off to ATL and get it recertified or leave it as it is. I think that comes down to the regulations for Spa. With it being an aftermarket tank, it might have to be in date, and if that's the case, I'll send it off to ATL, ask them to recertify it, which will give an extra 2 years. So yeah, get the fuel tank out, which is going to be interesting. It's a tight fit within the roll cage. It's a big old thing, 100 litres. What else? I've got the drink system back from Progressive Motorsport. That was off, that's been serviced. I probably won't fit that today. I'll leave that for another video. What else? That's about it, I think. Yeah, just get that tank out. So this is the tank within the car. Like I say, it's a 100 litre ATL saver cell, which has got a top plate which looks quite complicated for a number of reasons, but within there we've got the filler, the breather, the feed out, the return. What else? We've got the vent and obviously the wiring for the fuel pump, and then just hiding underneath there is the fuel level sender, which we've never actually used. If you look to the side of the car, we've actually got a twin fill system there, or the breather and the fill, which, looking on the outside, was a Premier twin fill system, but when we were doing the Krontec races, you actually had to use a single conventional pistol fill, so hence why we've got that, and it looks like a bit of a dog's dinner, doesn't it? So yeah, first things first, need to get that top plate off, and then I can put in another pump that I've got, drain the fuel out that's still in there before taking the lid off, the straps off, and trying to get the tank out of this, what do you call it, Meccano set. Okay, so that's all the screws out for the top plate. I've also disconnected the feed and the return lines just there. So now that top plate will just lift out the way, and I can get these straps off, which are held in by some nuts and bolts. Get the straps off, get the lid off, and then I can drain the tank. Okay, that's the current state of play. I've got all the top plate disassembled with the flapper valve there. That sits underneath the top plate. When the fuel goes in, it opens the plate, this flapper plate. Can't see it now because the screws are on, but it would open that and push down the other side, allowing the tank to breathe. So that's all apart. So now it's a case of getting the lid off and then trying to lift the tank out. Right, so it's all disconnected, taking all the hoses off. I've cracked it out from the framework that it was in, and now it's just a case of trying to get this out through the roll cage. Good luck. Evening. So a day later from yesterday, when I was working on taking the fuel tank out and failed abysmally last night. It's just a big tank trying to fit through a tight space. Unless I get all the angles right, it won't come out. So we tried multiple
iterations, rotations, ins, outs, this, that and the other, and it just wouldn't come. So we gave up last night, had some gin and tonics, and came back to it this morning. And for about another 20 minutes we were messing around and we're failing, and then suddenly it just came out. Got no idea what happened, what we did, but it's out. So that's the tank there now. So that's ready to be, or come out. It's got to come out the aluminium can, obviously. Go off to ATL and get it recertified, as the date, as you can see, is February 2022. And that's obviously the space it was in, which is also chipped on my roll cage whilst trying to get it out. So I'm going to have to look at getting that paintwork sorted. So that's that done. Really not keen on putting that back in for obvious reasons, and I don't need 100 litres. I don't think, depending where we're racing next year, which is a whole other subject. So I've got to get that out, speak to ATL, see what I'm going to do. Got to look at the regs for Spa as well, because I want to race at Spa, and with it being an aftermarket tank, you might have to have an in-date one. So I've got a few balls up in the air, a bit of juggling to do with that. Next on the list, I don't know, I could fit the drink system, which is from Progressive Motorsport. We've had one of these systems in the car for quite a while now. This has just come back, it's been off for a service. I can get the box open. Cracking system. So basically what you've got, excuse me, that's a pump with a dry brake fitting. These are all food grade fittings, so basically you press that button. I'm not sure if this will come out because I've not got both hands free. Push that button, which releases the bottle. There we go. The bottle comes out. That's the dry brake fitting, and that's the insides. So yeah, they're all food grade fittings on this system from Progressive Motorsport. And if you listen, it just clicks back in. So that gets mounted in the car, and each driver has their own bottle. These are the hoses. That's the helmet hose, and then the other hose here runs from that dry brake fitting there all the way around to the helmet. Anyway, so need to fit that, but I'm thinking whilst the tank's out, I might get the seat out, get the harness out, get as much out as I can, and give it all a good clean, because it is looking a bit scruffy, especially with the tanks being. So yeah, we'll give that a good look at. Right, so I've whipped the seat out, taken most of the harness out, just to be able to clean it. Believe it or not, this does get cleaned after most races, and Silverstone wasn't particularly dry or anything, or even all that down there is just dried grass. Don't know who's been on the grass, wasn't me. So yeah, seats out, give it all a good clean in there, check all the dates on everything, including the extinguisher, harnesses, seat, blah blah blah. Now if only I had somewhere secure to keep the seat. Oh, hello. Next job on the list is to change the valve for the air jacks. Don't know if you can see that. Let me get this torch. That's any better. So it's a Krontec valve or something like that. Basically the lance connects directly to it, which is next to me. If it will reach, I'll show you how that goes on. For the air jacks, this is. So lance goes on there like that, puts pressurised air into the system, engages the air jacks, and then to disengage them, you pull that lever up. So the reason why I'm changing it is I want to change it to the Krontec LL16 Plus. And the only difference, if you look at the top, if that will focus, it's got a little button there, and that's basically a slow bleed system, which means it doesn't slam down into the ground. So I'm just going to change that. I've just put some air into the system, so it's up. It's still on the safety stands, as you can see down there. So all being well, as opposed to pulling this blue lever up and the car dumping down on the ground, if I press this gently it should just bleed away the air. Let's give it a go. Oh, yeah. Very good, very good. That should save me back.